What's up, you guys? Dobbi here, back at it again with another deck profile for you today. And because this is a deck profile for a future set, BT8, which is not out yet, I wanted to show you guys some tabletop simulator testing gameplay. Shout out to TheEgman for having me as a guest on his stream to showcase some of the jank and decks that I have been playing. And oh boy, this one is as rogue as it gets. This is such an original Dobbi deck, and I'm so proud that it works. So yeah, it started out as a meme, but I saw Kogumon and was like, I really like AncientTroymon. And I figured, how can I control the board state when that is one of the key weaknesses of Creepymon? And then I was like, okay, let's do this. Put them together through Kogumon and Chimeramon, bridging into a Jogress. Now, we will dive into the gameplay first, just to show you guys kind of how things transpired and how the deck did, and then we'll dive right into the deck profile. All right, so essentially, you know, we just start out here with the draws, deciding who goes first, etc. So TheEgman does actually go first. By the way, this is VOD from his stream. Link in his stream will be in the description below. Thank you, TheEgman, for this. I immediately get into the mulligan, and then just draw a new 5, which is pretty good. So now we are looking into the Digimon Evo, pretty safe there, and I'm pretty sure he just drops a Tamer here, putting me to 3 if I can remember. Yep. Oh, put me to 4 even with the TK Kari, so that was very interesting. Now on my turn, I'm looking at my hand like I only really need a Chimeramon, and I can immediately Jogress into Chimera and then getting into the Ancient Troy. But what I do here is I really want to see more pieces. So I almost hard played that scatter mode, but instead, you know what? If you're gonna delete the Gabu, you're gonna delete the Gabu. Let's see if I can just Digivolve into that next turn and put you to max value. Gazimon hits a missed memory boost, so that's pretty free. I just get an extra 2 memory off that. The Gazimon's there, but it's nothing, not really a problem. I can totally just swing over that. See, I draw into Analog Youth, which can activate win rate, which just makes my hand looks scarier and scarier. So I go ahead and decide to swing over that Gazi, because why not? And then he's resolving the draw 1, trash 1, gets into a Hell Scythe. Obviously, I'm unaware of his hand as we're playing. So all I see is just him trashing the Zephyr and all that. And at that point, he's got 3 cards in his deck. I'm taking account of how many cards are in his deck because I know exactly how to win with my deck. The Analog Youth gets me the Chimeramon that I need, so there's a lot of luck in here right now. Clearly, this is a straight Jogress into what I need. However, because I have missed memory boost, I'm not in a rush. He's gonna put me to a minimum of 1, and I can miss and hard play something else. But what he does instead is he pops my scatter to create board presence, bringing out the Zephyr. That was actually a mistake on his end. But he doesn't know how my deck works, so that's totally fine. But what happens is I resolve scatter mode and I end up drawing into the only Eismon in my deck. And obviously I'm going to play that for the easy Jogress into Chimeramon. Yeah, so that's basically a free Jogress into Chimera, and now Chimera is both a white, green, and purple Digimon. Reducing Zephyrmon's DP by 3k. However, that doesn't really matter. I go into the missed memory boost using the win rate. And win rate, as long as you're trashing the Digivolution color of the Digimon Digivolving, you can go into green. And obviously, Chimera is all the colors, so that was a very easy transition into AncientTroymon. And now we've got a level 6 that is super threatening and slows down your opponent's board states if not dealt with. That is just the perfect card I need to set up Creepymon with all the time in the world. So yeah, I just play Matt to put him to 2, and I get the missed memory boost back because with the combination of Soulmon, Skullsatamon, and missed memory boost, it is so easy, guys, to get into Creepymon because you're just getting memory and getting memory. You can basically turbo up with just a missed memory boost and that stack. So he's gonna go ahead and get into Chimera of his own here, adding the Gazimon underneath, which was unfortunate that didn't have any better pieces. Now, the Ancient Troy is just reduced by 3k. Obviously, it's very hard to swing over. It also has retaliation thanks to the Kogumon. One thing I also want to note is that AncientTroymon has the Pagumon from BT2, the when attacking trash the top card of my deck. That allows for building my trash every single turn Ancient swings, setting up Creepymon even more. So yeah, I get into Soulmon here, and then I just hard play the Mist because I know that is a guaranteed Creepymon next turn. I trashed the only Blossomon in my deck there, guys, if you didn't see. I play one copy of Blossomon for that specific instance where I have a Koga and a way to just turbo up in an Ancient Troy. And I cannot Jogress. Blossomon can clutch me out of that. Just gonna go ahead and hard play the Gato here. Looking for pieces, lots of Tamers, but unable to really just find the opportune moment to play them. I'm playing around the TK Kari as best as I can, and that's pretty much what's stopping him from getting the memory he needs to play the Tamers. So I'm in a tough spot here because I know that I only have a Lucemon Chaos mode, and when you go into Skullsatamon, you're actually forced to trash the top two of your deck and then pick up a Demon Lord. Now, I don't want to pick up Lucemon Chaos, so what I do here is I swing with the Ancient Troy to trash the top card of my deck, and lo and behold, I do trash the Creepymon, allowing me to keep Chaos mode in trash when I Digivolve into Skullsata, because I'll end up taking the Creepymon instead. And I actually didn't need to swing with Ancient Troy here, because the top two cards I ended up trashing off the Evo was Creepymon as well. But I did it to be safe, and it actually worked out. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that, and now he's got two Digimon on the board, so this is like a quick and easy decision to get into Creepymon. And Creepymon, when Digivolved, you trash the top two cards of your deck for every Digimon they have. If you trash 4 or more cards in this way, you can play a level 5 Digimon from trash, and that is exactly why we needed that Chaos mode to come out from trash and stay there. So now I have the opportunity to take out one of his Digimon, but I decided to take out TK Kari as my deck has 0 ways to deal with Tamers. So I say, I'll let you do the Jogress, I'll let you do what you need to do, because that Digimon is just going to turn into 1 stack, and that severely reduces your ability to swing. In addition to that, with only 1 yellow Tamer out, that reduces your ability to hybrid aggro my deck, which is one of my key weaknesses. So it's pretty bonkers that I was able to run all of this. This is pretty much seeing all of my pieces because of the scatter. The engine is still very, very functional. If people think just because it was reduced by 3, it's dead, it's trash, don't believe them one bit, guys, because having that one Eismon is still very clutch. In addition to that, scatter mode is in its element in purple. Seeing all the pieces you need in purple is exactly what you need to win. And lastly, -3 means really a +3 in some other form of Digimon that'll give you value. So now, as I have called, he is forced to Jogress in here to Mastemon, and he has to address my board state, because while I only have 3 Digimon on the board, this is a very aggressive board, especially with Ancient Troy sticking. The more Digimon he puts out, the more they're going to get suspended. It's just going to be a big issue. Now he's resolving Mastemon's effect here. Unfortunately, he did not have any targets in trash to really generate max value. He just puts out the Gazimon to really stop me. But then at that point, I've already resolved most of my Jack Raids and my missed memory boosts. And I still do have a way, I believe, to get rid of Gazimon. Actually, I don't have a way, I think, to get rid of Gazimon here. But this activates my Creepymon once more. And he's gonna crash into my Ancient Troy here just to really deal with it, because the longer this Digimon stays on the board, the bigger the problem it is, and he cannot get into anything aggressive. And yeah, as a result of that, we suspend the Gazi, and he just hard plays a Kari to end turn. Now, this is funny, and at this point I was telling Eggman I'm in a really rough spot, because I only have, I think, 4 to 6 cards left in trash. So I'm really trying to figure out how to not trash 2 when I Digivolve into Creepymon, because I've got 24 cards or so in my trash, so every creepy swing will trash the top 6 cards of his deck. So 2 Creepymon would trash the top 12 cards of his deck. And as long as I'm keeping turn and not losing beforehand, and as long as the Creepymon stay, realistically, I will continue to trash and trash and trash until he loses. So I decide to swing over the Gazi here so I can Digivolve into Creepymon with no value. But he's going to trash the top 6 first off the first creepy swing. Yep, so I get into Creepymon here. I do not trash because he has no Digimon on the board. However, when I do swing, I've got over 20 cards in my own trash. So that means I'm actually going to be able to trash the top 6 cards of his deck. And I just want to play around the Kari real quick and play that Jack Raid. I was like looking for my flip-flops. So yeah, he ends up spending both Karis there. And at this point, he's got about 14, 15 cards in his trash, but with no board state. So at that point, unless he deals with my Creepymon, 2 swings, that's another 12 cards trashed. I still have around 4 cards in my deck. I just need to keep hard playing things until I win. And without a board state here, Eggman is just sitting duck at this point. He's got to find a way to really generate value into swinging into my security. So he gets into the Kazi, that's 1 less card in his deck, and he's going to go into Jet Sylphie, that's 2 less cards of his deck because of the recovery, and I think at that point he concedes because with the double creepy swing, if he doesn't deal with it, that's 12 cards going right into his trash, and yeah, it's just straight up going to be deleted at that point. So yeah, we get into game right there, and yeah, Creepymon is disgusting. And AncientTroymon does offer that setup, allowing you to slow your opponent down until you get into what you need. So we're going to dive right into the deck profile immediately here, guys. Boom. Here it is, as requested. You guys want to do deck profiles in this way where, you know, you see the entire deck and how it works. So we'll do this really quickly. 4 copies of Pagumon when attacking, trash the top card of your deck. Very, very simple. There's no draw value, but I'll take it because I run 4 copies of Scatter. 1 copy of Demimera on trigger, draw 1, trash 1 on deletion. I run 4 copies of Scatter Mode, but that doesn't mean I'm deleting every single Digimon I have. At the end of the day, the Pagu is much better for incremental value and trashing 1 at a time. Because if I over trash my cards, I could deck out very quickly. So this offers some sort of control. Gabumon, draw 2, trash 1. Very disgusting with Scatter Mode, had to run it. 4 copies of Gazimon, great memory blockers. There's going to be a lot of blue running around now with the Imperial Dramon. You can expect yellow decks, particularly Mass State, to potentially tech in Blinding Ray. We never really know. Memory blockers are always going to be good. 2 copies of Psychmon. If you look into BT8, you will see these level 4 cards that are very interesting. Now, they are 4 cost. When you hard play them, their play costs are reduced by 1 if they have another color Digimon on the board. Psychmon can shut that down, potentially ending your opponent's turn if they misplay and ignore Psychmon, which is really good. 2 copies of Roachmon for the immediate Jogress into Chimera with a green Digivolution source when I am not able to access Kogamon. 4 copies of Scatter Mode, that's a draw 3, trash 2. You're guaranteed to see all of your tech pieces with this guy, especially with the Gabu underneath, so that's very strong. 1 copy of Eismon. I don't care what anyone says. 1 copy is really all you need, because once again, as you saw in that game, I was able to quickly Jogress by drawing 6, trashing 4, seeing all of my pieces. 3 copies of Soulmon. So the reason why I'm running only 3 copies is I don't necessarily need to see this guy all the time. I just need to see him once, because once you see Soulmon once, you can basically set yourself up for success if you kind of pilot the deck to that manner, like to that end. And I like to save Soulmon for when I know I'm going to Creepymon for game. 4 copies of Kogamon because it protects the Creepymon with Retaliation. It protects basically any level 5 or up stack that I have with Retaliation. But more importantly, it is a Jogress piece into Chimera, which translates to me immediately getting an Ancient Troy. Very powerful card. 1 tech of Blossomon because there's going to be times where I have access to Roach, I have access to Koga, but I'm bricking out, unable to find some of my other pieces, and I have Ancient Troy, no Creepymon yet, for example, so I can Digizorb and Turbo up into Ancient Troy, and with the Retaliation stack, I'm still pretty good with Ancient Troy being suspended. Next, we got 2 copies of Lucemon Chaos Mode. Don't really see myself running more than 2, just because you're gonna see it. Like, as you saw in that game, I was down to 4 cards in my deck, and it was like just an ability to pilot my way through. Not decking myself out was really the way out. I've got copies of Skull Satamon here as well. We got 3 copies. Just gets you back your Creepymon when you are indiscriminately trashing cards, like with Miss Memory Boost. Also gets you the memory inheritable when you trash card from your deck, which is an immediate benefit, making Creepymon an automatic 2 cost if your opponent has Digimon on the field. The only downside is you have to curate your trash to have at least 1 Creepymon in there for when you go into Skull Sata. That way you are not getting Chaos modes and basically Creepymon for no value. We are running 3 copies of Chimeramon because this card is just cracked. It's broken. Well, it's not broken, but it's really, really powerful. It can delete all of your opponent's Digimon depending on how many sources you have underneath him, because it represents each color, and each color is -1k DP, which is really powerful. Next, he also offers an extra swing if need be, and he is my only bridge to Ancient Troy. Ancient Troy, super powerful card, as you saw, great starter. Opening turn, when an opponent's Digimon attacks, suspend up to 2 of their Digimon without blocker. As you saw, we managed to suspend the memory blocker. I had no ways to delete it, so being able to suspend it was very good. That way I was able to use Jack Raids and whatnot. Next, Creepymon is basically the main boss here, but Ancient Troy sets him up. Trash the top 2 cards of your deck for each of your opponent's Digimon in play. If you trash 4 or more cards, bring out a level 5. Sometimes you're going to want to bring out a level 5, sometimes you are not, and more often than not, it's not hard to set up. Like, people will go up 1 stack. If they go up that 1 stack, that's totally fine. Once I have 10 cards in my trash, when attacking, Creepymon will not only trash the top 3 cards of your deck, but I am now 14k. So for every 10 cards in my trash, I get an extra 3k DP when I swing. So sure, go up into your 1 stack. Once that Digimon's suspended, I'm swinging over it for 14k at least. Next, we've got 3 copies of Jack Raid. As you can see, Jack Raid came in very clutch. I'm experimenting with ways to run Creepymon in the other Demon Lords like Beelzemon, Lilithmon, what have you. I'm even experimenting with Megidramon. My competitive Creepymon deck is going to be under wraps until release, and it basically is a turbo trash engine where I don't lose to you, I lose to me, or I win the game. Next, we've got 1 copy of Call from Darkness just to return some key pieces. Like if I want to return Skull Sata because I only have 3 of them. If I want to return the Eismon, the only copy that I have in trash, or a Creepymon or what have you, very good. Sometimes actually you will be forced to hard play Lucemon Chaos Mode very, very late into the game if you don't want to go into Creepymon and lose by decking yourself out. So Call from Darkness gets that back, because once you've got 30 cards in trash, Chaos Mode is literally just, what is it? It's reduced by, I think it's reduced by like 3? Yeah, reduced by 3 for each of your, for every 10 cards. So that's reduced by 9. So it just becomes a 5 cost and just offers so much value. 1 copy of Miss Memory Boost just for that extra memory. I really don't use it for the trash and draw, but that's very beneficial either way. But the memory is really what I'm for, because when you have this in a combination with Skull Satamon and Soulmon, that Creepymon can get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. 2 copies of win rate, guys, in BT8. If you are not testing win rate in any deck, in any of your decks, highly suggest you try win rate. It is super powerful, especially since you are running Chimeramon. You do not need Analog Youth. You do not need a Tamer. As long as you have Chimeramon on the field, that Chimeramon can be win rated into a Mega immediately. And I think that's pretty powerful. Next, we're running 2 copies of Matt. I don't believe I saw Matt in that game. Actually, I did, I think. I did see that Matt mid-game, which is really good, but you're going to see all of your pieces with this deck. You are trashing every single card in your deck and hoping for that lethal swing by trashing your opponent's cards in their deck. Next, we've got Analog Youth here. Very powerful card, very good searcher, builds up my trash super quickly, and I only really need a few pieces to get going, and Analog Youth gets me there very quickly. So that is the deck profile, guys. Let me know in the comment section below if you enjoyed that. Let me know if this is something that you would love to try. I highly suggest you do. As long as mulligans are in effect at your locals, play this deck. It's so much fun, super controlly, and as long as you are managing your trashes and playing it correctly, Creepymon will deck out your opponent. Like, I can almost guarantee that. Creepymon is super powerful, and I have a feeling that I'm gonna create a movement because I have a feeling he's gonna be severely underplayed or just used as a tech when he could really be used as a major engine. But with that said, guys, if you like the content, if you want more BT8 stuff, because I am honestly not gonna be touching anything BT7 apart from maybe playing at my locals, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much once again, and peace. Bye.